Again, we're still in isolation and I'm still playing around with waves. I did one a little while ago that was black and the wave we're looking at very much from the side. This one we're looking from more in front, and I've changed the light. So we're going to play around with how the light affects the water, the shape of the waves, and all of the colors that go along with that. So with starting waves and things, I always kind of like a framework, for example, something to start with. And I've got roughly the shape of the wave here, but probably one of the most important things in this picture is this bit of sky here, because it's going to reflect on the surface of the water down here, but it's also going to have an impact on the colors that are in the wave. So the very first thing I'm going to do is represent this somewhere where it's important down in the water, and that theoretically should give me some structure to spread out from. So I'm just going to tilt this picture up because it's easier to do this when it's like here. And the last picture I did, the water was pretty smooth, but I'm going to actually bump it up a little bit, make it a bit messier. It's quite a dry brush, and it's just cadmium yellow, medium, and white. Now this will be the bottom of the wave, but I'm not bringing the light to the bottom of the wave because there'll be a shadow cast in front of the wave. I'm just going to pan that out like that. Now, when I do workshops, one of the things that I say is if you want to flatten water, reflect the sky, and it shouldn't be too hard to see how the water's now starting to get flat because the sky is being reflected like that, roughly. So while I've got this color out, I'm going to go around and put it in all of the places that are important. And of course that would be across the top of this wave, like that. And that would actually do this a little bit. Not that that's so important now, but it's not a bad idea to put it in so we can see where we're going. And oops, across the top of that wave there, because that's in shadow. So this is where it's going to get freaky. I'm just going to flash a really bright color across the back here, and probably it's going to look wrong at first, but I have to make a decision at this stage whether I want this water to be clean, crystal clear, or whether or not I want it to be slightly murky. I'm going towards the clean sort of look. So I've got to get some light through the back of this so it looks like the wave's transparent and there's light shining through the back of it. So this color is phthalo green mixed with a little bit of phthalo blue and a tiny bit of dioxazine purple and some cad yellow medium. So I'm just going to keep playing with that backlight thing, and I've mixed up this lovely lime kind of green here, and I'm just doing that. Now this part of the wave is going to come over, and I'm going to cheat because there will be a sense of that being transparent there with that color going through the middle. So I'm just going to do that, and that will make sense later on. So trust me. So I'm just going to put the lip coming down like that. I'm going to make it quite dark, and that will make more sense later on. Like that. And I'm also just going to just drag that across there like that. But I will, a bit later on, put a little bit of red over that because this is close to the light source. So everything closer to the light source is going to be warm, and it'll get cooler as it goes out like that. Now I've got a little bit of this color on my brush, very thin, and I'm just going to run that across the bottom of the wave like that, and up here a little bit like that. So this is all still, you know, roughing in, so I'm not too stressed about too much. I might just drag a bit across here and there, just to kind of, you know, increase the contrast a bit. So I'm just going to put a bit of this color in here, and that is, this color is kind of, we're looking through, the sun is coming through the back of the wave, through underneath the wave, and shining back on the inside of the underside of the tube. That's hard to get your head around. Just trust me. Okay, that goes there like that. And that will make more sense a little bit later on. I've mixed up a sort of a bluey grey colour because as the wave comes down here like this, the spray that's going to come off it will be in shadow. Okay, so everything that's down behind the front of this wave, like that, will be in shadow, and so it will have that kind of blue-grey kind of look to it. Now we tend to think that the spray coming off the back of the wave, because its water is transparent, but the truth is it will actually stop light, so it will appear quite dark. So anywhere where the wave is sort of flatter, it's going to reflect the sky. So here is going to reflect the sky here, here is going to reflect the sky here, but this area in here is probably going to reflect a bit of sky up here. That's why we can make it blue and get away with it. Because water is highly reflective, whatever happens in the sky or in the light behind is going to be shown up in the water somewhere. So I usually will find whatever colour I've got. If I'm reflecting it here, it might show up on the highlights of some of the other waves, all these ripples. So it's really important to look for where the reflections go. You'll be surprised just how far they'll travel. I mentioned before that the spray is going to cast a shadow, so we can actually come back in here quite dark. Look at that. And it doesn't look out of place because it's going to be stopping some light. Now I've actually made that quite red, believe it or not. A bit strong there. I've made it quite red because there'll be some red sort of shining through that, and I'm actually going to bump up that red across there too. Because this is the light source, the reds will be close to the light source here, and the cooler colours will be out this way a little bit. Because I'm very impatient and I love this effect, I'm just going to get in here now with this and just bump that up a bit. Bam! Look at that. I love that bit. Sort of see through the back of the wave and see all that light. I love surfing at sunset when got that going on. So I've got a lot of this orangey, reddy colour up here in the sky. Can't not put it in the water. So I'm just going to put this here and I'll start defining some of those little ripples here and there in the foreground. So again, I want to reflect the sky, so anywhere where I think one of those wavelets will be or ripples will be, I'll put it, reflect the sky on the top edge like that, and that will also come up there a little bit like that. And I'm actually using, see these yellow lines I put here, I'm using them as a sort of a guide and coming out from them to show me where the highlights will be. And I'm just going to reflect some sky up there and maybe a little bit down there. And what I've done is I've got some of this orange and they'll radiate out from the center here. So I'm just going to do this here. And I'm just putting this color on the front edges of all of those ripples because that's the part that's flattest relative to my eye, so that's the part that's going to show up on the reflections. Okay, I've mixed up some white and cadmium yellow light. This is going to be quite intense through here now. And you can see that yellow's quite dominant and it's kind of pushing everything else back. No, I can get down here, I think. Yeah, there we go. And I'll just a little bit across here on the top there. So one of the hard things about water, but also one of the lovely things about it. There's always that little unexpected, you know, reflection somewhere, just from that high bit that catches the light, or a little bump in the water, or it's like a kaleidoscope. Now, I mentioned before about some highlights on the top. While I've got that colour, put that in there like that. I won't put it there because it's a shadow, but anywhere here. And that won't come all the way down because that'll be in shadow. So I'll just bring that down to about there, like that. Okay, I've added more white to that, and I'm just going to really intensely here and there just do little shorter strokes like that, just to get those little bits of chop on the surface of the water. They kind of get lost when you're doing the bigger strokes, but when you start getting into the detail, you can just use the tip like that and do really short strokes. I've just made some pure white like that, and I'm just going to, again, here and there, very strategically break that up a bit like that. It's quite a liney picture, so that hopefully should break some of that up. And we'll just get up there. There's probably only 3 things I'm going to do to this to finish it. Again, I'm going to use an unexpected colour. I'm going to mix up some of this sky colour, this French ultramarine, with a little bit of phthalo blue, and I'm just going to whack that in here to flatten that part out there. And I'll probably bump this up a little bit more. And then the other thing I'll do is I'll get some of this orange here, and I'll just put it through here in the center of that picture. These are a bit strong, so this is a light source. We consider the reflection on the surface of the water to be a light source, so that would still have the warm to cool process happening. So this to me is too cool and too strong. So I'm going to warm that up and create that lovely heat radiating out from that reflection in the surface of the water. See that? That's, I don't know why I did that. So I've had another look at this colour, and there's not a lot of phthalo blue in it. It's mainly French ultramarine, so we'll crack on. Just want to get that, and all those bits that are going to be reflecting the sky like that. Here. A lot of times paintings don't work because people haven't put any detail in the shadows, and the shadows are kind of dead. So you've got to bump up those shadows like that. And even though, you know, out here there's a lot of this yellow colour, the blue's still going to be reflected. There'll still be, you know, facets of the wave that are pointing towards the sky, and or that part of the sky. So there'll be little flashes of that blue in there as well. Oops. Okay, so I've just mixed up a bit of that orange there, and I'm just going to waft that in through there. I'm not sure why wafting is the right word, but hey, we'll run with it. And you can see that that's kind of warmed up that area that's there like that. And it's kind of made those shadows in there less offensive, unlike my jokes. So I'm just going to bump up this part of the lip here now, and sometimes it's really hard to work out what colour to make it, but because we've got predominantly orange through here and we've got that lovely blue in the sky and it's shaded, so it's not going to be getting this direct light on top of it, I just kind of mix this orange and this blue together, and that makes this sort of lovely blue-grey. And I'll just like that. I'm sure there's some science why that colour kind of works, but I don't know what it is. I do go into a bit more detail about the mechanics of waves and things on in a DVD we call Wave Fundamentals. And there's also another DVD we do that's called More on Water, and it sort of speaks a little bit about what light does when it hits water and how it affects it and things like that. So anyway, there's plenty of useful information there. In this image, we've looked again at the shapes of waves. We've looked at this more sort of from 45 degrees. We did one before with the black background and we were looking more side on. And this one has sort of begins to understand what happens to light when it hits the surface of the water, the shapes of the waves, the colors, creating the illusion of transparency, and that whole warm to cool stuff. So it's kind of, even though it's a simple image, it's super fun to paint, and there's so much color in there. You can really bam up the color and really kind of play with it.